is a book that is called Happy Gloves. If you imagine taking a glove and stuffing it, you've got a sculptural object there already.
The glove just reminded me of the little Totoro, kind of, like the ears.
You can see how she attached the head and the body with the whip stitch right along here. We started this project in March, and now here we are exhibiting it in May. So for a couple months, we met once, sometimes twice a week. And so that's why I was saying in the beginning, we really had to break it up into bite-sized chunks. One of the real benefits, I think, of that is that they were able to really focus on one piece at a time, and just have a success, and then the next week build on it, build on it, build on it, which is part of that artistic process.
Probably the hardest part was the face, because since mine's pretty tiny, I had to like fit the face, and also it was kind of hard to come up with how you wanted it.
And I accidentally gave it 3 and 4 eyes on.
If you imagine taking a glove and stuffing it, you've got a sculptural object there already. And so then you take away 2 fingers, and in a very simple way, you've started to. I likened it to the kids of like working with clay, where you're starting with a very basic shape and then slowly, slowly taking it in your own direction.
And I put on the arms and legs, and I cut it in half to make the cape.
It may have given some of the kids a bit of a head start to have done more of this at home, but very quickly they were all up to speed. And what's kind of cool is all kinds of kids were able to excel, with boys, girls, everyone took an interest, worked hard, worked patiently, and had those fine motor skills to go for it. Originally this was the line at the back of the head, and Max turned it around and thought, you know, that makes a really cool mouth. It's also, Tanira's is a great one to look at for the whole idea that the kids started making accessories for almost everybody. He figured out with the fingers how to make this very frog-like eye, and so I think this is just a good example of someone who totally went in their own direction.
It was really amazing to see that by really holding back a bit at the beginning, how they were able to develop those skills and then gradually kind of let loose. And I think in terms of
the story,
the narratives, Pam had the idea that maybe they could do like a poem or comics, but what we were noticing is that kids were talking about their characters as if they already had these lives.
This man came up to him, kidnapped him, and gave him this power drink while he was asleep.
And he's different than a lot of dragons. So he's like a human in that way, but he's definitely not a human because he's so immature.
Well, her great ancestors were the first ones to make up shopping.
For sure, something that we did that I think is essential is each child had their own working kit that they were responsible for. That's where they kept all their materials, that's where they kept their creation while it was in progress, and they learned how to take care of it. I would say that was a huge part of it, giving them the ownership and responsibility for their own project. Everybody's probably heard of Picasso. He's like the greatest artist of all time. He had something he said that he was very famous for. He said that every single child is an artist. And I think that this 3rd grade class proved that. Because when you go around and you see what everyone did, it's amazing. You started with just learning the stitches, then you made these sculptures, and then you created stories about them, and you named them. And you started from the beginning, and you followed it all the way through to the end. Yeah. So you used your creativity, and you used fantastic craftsmanship.